Hello Team FD and welcome to our latest 11. Today's episode is all about players who made a name for themselves in 2019. Let's go. Goalkeeper, Dean Henderson. Manchester United haven't had too much luck in the last year, with serious injuries to Paul Pogba and Marcus Rashford scuppering their attempts to rebuild. However, they have struck gold with Dean Henderson, the 23-year-old emerging as a star in the making, just as David De Gea at 29 looks to be entering an early decline. The Spaniard hasn't been as bad as you might think this season. His save percentage of 71% is the 7th best in the Prem, and he's conceded 29 opposition goals from an XG of 28.8, which is hardly a notable underperformance. But Henderson has been sensational for surprise package Sheffield United. With a save percentage of 76%, he's only beaten by Leno, Schmeichel and Alisson in the top flight, and has saved an incredible 6.5 goals more than XG would predict, a tally boosted by opponents missing both penalties awarded against the Blades this season, but still indicative of great shot-stopping ability. Linked with Chelsea as well as a possible stay in Sheffield, Henderson has been so good that some Red Devils fans have called for an end to De Gea's 9-year stint as United's number one. Reportedly offered a bumper $100k a week contract to extend his spell at the team he joined at 14, Henderson is no longer looking for a path to the top, he's already there. Defender, Japhet Tanganga. As recently as September 2019, Japhet Tanganga was in Tottenham's reserves, a centre-back valued at just $720k according to Transfermarkt. By the time the league was suspended in March, the 20-year-old Londoner had multiplied his value by 10 and had played across the entire backline under Jose Mourinho, as well as making his Champions League bow against RB Leipzig in the round of 16. At 6 feet tall, Tanganga is not especially big and is yet to develop his passing game, ranking 22nd out of 28 Tottenham players for passes per appearance. But there's plenty to like in his limited runouts. He makes a massive 4.8 tackles and interceptions per 90, behind only Serge Gnabry at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He also wins 62% of his aerial duels, an extremely rare ability in a youngster. That's not far off Matthijs de Ligt's 66%, and like the Juventus defender, Tanganga is extremely mobile for his position, completing a dribble every game and routinely showing his pace in recovery. It's too early to say whether the centre-back, who won the Toulon tournament with England in 2017, will become a Premier League regular and partner Davinson Sanchez in a new golden age for the Lily Whites. But if he turns out to be nothing more than a decent rotation option, he could save his club £25 million as they enter a period of financial uncertainty. Not a bad outcome in a topsy-turvy campaign. Defender, Gabriel. Be honest. Had you heard of Gabriel at the start of the season? No, not the ex-Arsenal centre-back, or one of the many Brazilian forwards with the name, but the centre-back at Lille, who up until the 1920 campaign had just 11 starts to his name in his 2.5 years in France. A £2.7 million pickup from Avaí in the south of Brazil, Gabriel picked up 1,000 minutes last season as a rotation player, but this year has the 4th most game time in the Lille squad, stepping up even as Les Dogs have slipped from 2nd to 4th. By XG, Lille have only the 6th best defence in Ligue 1, but the fault is certainly not Gabriel's. His job is to step out of the back line while Jose Font sweeps up behind, and the 22-year-old makes over twice as many tackles as the veteran, completing an incredible 86% of the challenges he attempts, more than Virgil van Dijk on 80%. Also strong in the air, Gabriel wins 65% of his aerial duels to Fonte's 61% and plays more passes than anyone else in the side, as well as more long balls than anyone bar keeper Mike Mignon. In short, Gabriel is smart, aggressive, tough and cultured, as well as left-footed, making him an irresistible prospect for Europe's top clubs. With Lille desperate for funds and a reported £30 million price tag on the Brazilian's head, a switch to a super club is a near certainty this summer. Defender, Renan Lodi. Atletico Madrid were expected to struggle after losing Griezmann, Hernandez, Rodri, Godin, Juanfran and Felipe Luis in a fire sale which raised £280 million, and a glance at the table would suggest expectations were right. With 11 games to go, the Rojiblancos sit 6th, under 11 points off where they were at the same stage of last season, with a goal difference of 10 to last year's 22. But look under the hood and prospects are bright. 5 of the 13 players to have over 1,000 league minutes for the Rojiblancos so far are 25 or under, while expected points suggest they should be in 3rd and only 4 points off top. A key player in that regard has been 21-year-old Renan Lodi, who joined from Atletico Paranense in the summer for £18 million, ranking 6th in the squad for minutes in that time since. The Brazilian is defensively outstanding, gaining possession 4 times a game and winning 75% of his tackles, but he's also reasonable in attack, creating a chance per 90 minutes across domestic play and European play, respectable in a side which has often struggled to do so. Lodi's success has been such that he received his international debut 2 months after the switch, sharing the slot with Alexandro and appearing 4 times for the Seleção this campaign. And while the rest of Europe scrabbles to find top fullbacks for the modern game, Atletico can relax in the knowledge that their left flank is secure. Right mid, Ismaila Sarr. Some players take a while to settle, some take no time at all. Arsenal's summer signing of Nicolas Pepe was meant to give the Gunners a ready-made superstar wide man, but with 28 games gone, they must wonder whether they should have gone for Ismaila Sarr instead. The Rennes winger, heavily linked with the switch to the Emirates before eventually joining Watford. Sarr cost £27 million to Pepe's £72 million, and has 8 goal involvements in the Prem to Pepe's 10 at the time of writing. However, less game time means Sarr's contributed to a goal every 153 minutes to Pepe's 159, and his expected goals far outstrips the Ivorians, with 0.6 a game to Pepe's 0.5. That's despite playing on a team which has spent 25 of the 29 game weeks in the relegation zone. And Sarr has not only finished and created chances, he's also played a vital role in advancing possession, racking up 2.4 dribbles a match, some way off Pepe's 3.7, but still second only to Deulofeu at Watford. Sarr is still just 22, and his dribbling and creativity are only likely to improve as he develops physically, getting used to the demands of Premier League football. If Watford can overcome the odds and beat the drop, the Senegalese forward could help return them to the comfort of mid-table and attract interest from teams even higher than that. Midfield, Suat Serdar. Riding high in 6th, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Schalke have turned a corner this year and are in the process of re-establishing themselves as a force in German football. Of course, that's easier to believe if you don't watch them, as the Gelsenkirchen side remain one of the bullies' dullest teams in 1920, with the exception of 22-year-old midfielder Suat Serdar. A newly minted German international, Serdar has dragged David Wagner's side through this campaign with 7 goals from midfield, making him Schalke's top scorer, and a pretty healthy return in a side outscored by 12 of Germany's 17 other clubs. But while his shooting has been excellent, he's mainly impressed with his defensive work and ball progression. Ranked 5th in the Bundesliga for tackles per 90 minutes, Serdar wins possession 4.4 times a match, and his dribbling has pushed him into elite territory. Across Europe, he's one of only 7 central midfielders to complete more than 3 dribbles a game. The fact that Mateo Kovacic and Thiago Alcantara are top of this list shows the value of this ability. And of the other 4 players, only Ismaila Sarr combines that mobility with over 3 defensive actions per game, even Lyon's Houssem Aouar falling short. With an unusual combination of steel and skill, a 6-foot frame, and plenty of time to impress, it won't be long before Serdar is on shopping lists across the continent. Midfield, Fede Valverde. After a ropey start to the season, Real Madrid have recovered their team ethic this year, no longer relying on any individual, but a system which improves the whole 11. And vital to that has been 21-year-old midfielder Federico Valverde, who in many ways has become his club's Gini Wijnaldum. Not a specialist in any regard, but hard-working, a willing presser, and always where he needs to be. To be fair to the Uruguayan, he outstrips Wijnaldum in every metric. 3.2 tackles and interceptions per 90 is double the defensive output of the Dutchman, and a better tally than his elderly partners Modric on 2.9 and Kroos on 2.7. He doesn't dribble a lot, but rarely fails when he does, with a 73% success rate. And again, like Wijnaldum, he just never loses the ball. Valverde is dispossessed once a game, which is better than it sounds, and maintains an 87% pass accuracy, below only Modric, Ramos and Kroos in the squad. He even has an instinct for when to get forward, grabbing 2 goals and 4 assists in under 1300 minutes to date, meaning only Benzema, Kroos and Modric have more goal contributions in La Liga for Madrid. Getting minutes for a super club at such a young age gives Valverde a massive advantage in his development, as will featuring at DM, CM and even on the wing. His stats may not shine, but Real don't function without him. Who would have guessed that an academy player would become the key to Los Blancos this season? Left mid, Marcus Thuram. We could have put Mason Greenwood on the wing, but here at Football Daily we never miss a chance to say we told you so, and that's exactly what we're doing with Marcus Thuram. We tipped the Frenchman back in 2018-19 when he was at Guingamp, but only Borussia Mönchengladbach took notice, acquiring the promising attacker for just £8 million. Though yet to earn a cap for his national team, the 22-year-old is tearing it up in a second top league under one of the world's most coveted young managers, and is surely soon to force his way into the Bleu setup. Unusually for the modern game, Thuram is a left footer who plays on the left, and this year, just 4 under-24s across Europe's top 5 have more assists than his 8, and only 11 players overall. Thuram also has 6 goals to his name, and is also one of the best dribblers in his age group, with 2.8 take-ons completed a game, the same output as Jadon Sancho. Interestingly, Thuram creates fewer chances and dribbles less than he did in Ligue 1, but the quality of his key passes and shots have improved dramatically, taking him from 0.45 expected goals per 90, about the same as Jack Grealish, to 0.75 expected goals per 90, the same as Sadio Mane. That's outrageous by any standard, but Thuram is a kid adapting to a new club. With his pace, skill and 6'4" frame, it's easy to see how more experience could make him truly unplayable. Forward, Donyell Malen. Amazingly, only 7 players have scored more Eredivisie goals this season than Donyell Malen's 11. And he's been out injured since mid-December. The Dutchman, a client of Mino Raiola, came through the ranks at Ajax before joining Arsenal's academy at 16, spending 2 years there before heading back to the Netherlands with PSV for just over 500k. And while he may not be in a top league, Malen's rise to stardom has been Mbappe-esque. In 2018-19, Malen played under 1,000 Eredivisie minutes but notched 10 goals and 4 assists. While this year, before his injury, he racked up 11 strikes and 2 assists after just 14 appearances, giving him a goal involvement every 84 minutes since his debut. He's also excelled in the Europa League, scoring 3 and 4, while his stats are amazing even for the Netherlands. Only Hakim Ziyech has taken more than Malen's 4.5 shots per game this year, and while just 1.7 of the Moroccan's attempts come from inside the box, 3.3 of Malen's do, a third of his side's total close-range shots. He's unusually creative for a striker too, with only 2 players in his position managing more than his 1.7 key passes per 90. And Ronald Koeman handed him his 4 international caps before Christmas, with a goal on his debut, giving the Orange a famous victory over Germany. The youngster's form has been so impressive that Barcelona and Arsenal have been linked with £48 million swoops, despite his fitness woes. However, PSV will hope that the arrival of Roger Schmidt in Eindhoven can persuade Malen to stay and help recapture a title they last won in 2018. Forward, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. A year ago, Dominic Calvert-Lewin was a utility man at Everton, having played for the Toffees as a wide man and even a wing-back, and with a record of 11 goals in 78 Premier League games. Not embarrassing, but not a sign of well-beating ability. But with 3/4 of 1920 gone, the Sheffield-born youngster is his club's starting forward and most important player, having more than doubled his career tally in the space of 12 months. With 13 goals in 22 starts this term, DCL has the 5th best record among under-24s across Europe, trailing only Rashford, Sancho, Moussa Dembele and Mbappe in a worse attacking side. In fact, Everton have scored only 37 in 29 games, ranking 9th in the Prem, and Calvert-Lewin's had a hand in 38% of those, largely thanks to his incredible shot selection. Of the 65 attempts he's made this campaign, only 7 have come from outside the box, while he's managed 13 from inside the 6-yard area, the 3rd best figure in England, behind Danny Ings and Chris Wood. With Rashford, Abraham and Kane all facing recurrent fitness problems, and Calvert-Lewin just 23 years old, he has an excellent shot at becoming a regular for his country. While at club level, his devastating partnership with Richarlison could see Everton finally deliver on their talk of Champions League football. Forward, Serge Gnabry. If 2018-19 was the year Serge Gnabry showed he was Bayern quality, and 1920 was the year he showed he was world class. The 24-year-old German has already hit double figures in the league this season, the 4th consecutive year in which he's done so, and his record of 9 assists is the best of his career so far, making him the 5th highest scorer and the 6th highest assister in the Bundesliga with 20 goal involvements after just 19 starts. That equates to a goal involvement every 81 minutes. Amazingly, that is behind expectation, which says the forward should have around 22 goals and assists, which would put him at 1.2 per 90 minutes. A rate behind only Lewandowski, Mbappe and Neymar across Europe's top 5 divisions. Despite Bayern's difficulties, Gnabry has pushed all his metrics up, hitting 4 shots and 2 key passes a game for the first time in his career, as well as managing 2 dribbles and even making 2 tackles per appearance. And that doesn't even include his exceptional showings in the Champions League, where he scored 6 and created another in just 6 appearances, including that memorable hat-trick against Tottenham. From down and out in the autumn, Bayern go into the run-in, assuming it happens, with a 100% win rate in Europe and a 4-point advantage in the league. Lewandowski, with 25 goals, looks immortal in the German Giants' front line, but with Gnabry in this sort of form, a future without the Pole looks a less frightening proposition. As ever, like, subscribe, and click on that video now for more great content. Bye!